we're back with A43 TV, and I'm still with Jilly Kuhns, who is the Director of Operations at Osprey Village. Delighted, in our first segment, we talked about the community and we talked about the people who are participating in it. Now, let's talk about what's going on in the development of the village, Osprey Village, where we want to create this independent living site, home. Where are we?
Well, 2020 was a challenge for us, but one thing that it did lead to was an ability for our team, as the wheels slowed down in other areas of our organization, for us to really focus on the development. We've engaged an architect firm out of Atlanta who has full staffing and engineers, and we have a great community developer that sits on our board who's been working diligently to design a model that's going to work not just for persons with developmental disabilities, because as you know, this is an inclusive environment. We want it to speak to something to the general population as well, who's also in need of affordable housing. So we've managed to get a construction basically put together in terms of what it's going to look like. And you can get the updates on our website in regard to that in terms of the pictures and the layout, blueprints, and design. Our biggest challenge in 2021 is securing the right funders. It's not just about getting the money, it's about getting the right kind of funding. Oftentimes when you're using major foundations, government funding, they very much streamline what you can and cannot do with that money. And we need to make sure that it's really going to align with the principles and the mission of what we're trying to accomplish. So that is our challenge moving forward.
Well, yes, and that makes a lot of sense. But give us a little bit of an update. I remember last time you had a road put in. I mean, there's some physical things that are actually happening there.
Yeah,
so let us know. There's stuff is stuff.
There's roads, and there's like a front entranceway with all kinds of signage, and they've actually constructed the road all the way back to where our property is, which is off of 170, there is a commercial development. We sit right behind the commercial development, so they have that road constructed to just past that.
And this is in Hardyville.
This is in Hardyville, yeah. It's just off of East Argent.
Oh, okay.
170 in East Argent, yeah.
Great. So there is physical change going on there. And so we're still kind of getting the grant writing to have that done, the funding. And every time, there's two prongs to this funding. One is to continue staffing for the community and also for the physical ability, because you really want to get this place ready. I mean, what's the capacity? Are you familiar with all that information?
We're building this out in a couple of phases. And in our first phase, we'll probably start with a smaller capacity. But based on the size of what we have to build on, we could take up to 150 individuals, which is a significant number of persons with developmental disabilities.
That is significant, and that's terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear that. So let's talk about what we can do to help. Well, obviously, the funding, if people can, submit checks to your foundation, that would be great. But I also want to share with you, there are 2 thrift shops here in our community. And I've been to those thrift shops, and I got 3 pairs of great shoes there. They have some good, what do you call them, treasures?
They have amazing finds at our thrift shops. I've often said that I'd probably be better off in my shopping addiction just to shop at the thrift shops, because they get fantastic business clothing. If you're in the work environment and you need it, that's the place to go for it. They carry some really great brands. And then the furniture that they get. It's
I know.
Unbelievable. Somebody just donated a Restoration Hardware linen and down couch to us. This is a humongous and beautiful couch that if you bought it from Restoration Hardware is worth like $12,000. And people just donate stuff. We're so blessed to have those kinds of donations coming through.
And do they come in daily? I mean, so people kind of know to come over once a week and see what's going on? What's the frequency?
We have our inventory turns over very, very quickly. Right now, because of the way things are going with capacity limits and everybody spent all last year cleaning out their house, we have to limit to certain days of the week that we can take donations. And each of our stores, the one in Okatie and the one in Hilton Head, actually have different days and hours that they will take them. But we have that posted on the website as well.
Well, okay. And what else can you tell us about how we want to fund? What can we do? The community says, well, I want to help.
So the biggest thing that we can do, and this has always been a challenge for anybody working with individuals with developmental disabilities, is awareness. Getting the awareness out into the community that these persons are a part of this community. Yeah. They can't be buried under a pile of other inequalities, that they have to be put front and center, especially when you're in an area that has a higher population of them than the rest of the United States. So it's very important that our residents of the Lowcountry, in particular Hilton Head, Bluffton, Beaufort, become very familiar with who these individuals are. Outside of that, getting into contact with us and finding out different ways that you can invest. For us, investment is not just your dollars. It's your time, your expertise. Because we have so many prongs coming out, we need a lot of expertise, not just in developing, not just in healthcare, but in marketing and in human resources and finance. So any way that a person can roll up their sleeves and help out is also very, very much appreciated.
You know, that's a really good point. And this island is full of very talented women and men. And, you know, if they have a little time to offer, I think that's a terrific, I like that. That's a good shout out.
Yeah.
And I've come help them.
Please.
Please. Well, Julie, once again, lovely to see you. And
You too.
Continue with your march and success.
Thank you.
And I look forward to speaking to you again to get another update.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back with more 843 TV.